What's up? What's up? I'm Dustin Corbett, your host of the new podcast, Two Steps Ahead. Episode 5, coming at you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As always, we appreciate you spending some time with us, hanging with us for a little bit. I know we all have busy lives. So the fact that you're giving us some time to hang out and see what we have to say, it's much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Last week, episode 4, we spoke about our true idea of, and what we think at least is, post-COVID, what is our new normal going to be? What's it going to look like in sales and business, particularly automotive? And we had some really good feedback from last week. So I appreciate everybody that got to chime in and first listen, and secondly, the feedback is much appreciated. As we've said a few times, we could be doing a good thing, a bad thing. I have absolutely no idea, but the feedback that we get will make us better. And if we've done our job, we've created a topic of thought and a thought process to create some conversation. That's what we're trying to do. Not everybody's going to be on the same page 100% of the time, all the time, and that's good. I love it. I absolutely love that. So we really created some conversation last week, and we're going to hope to push that forward this week. So without further ado, episode 5, goals. Goals within business. We could even go as far as personal level. Do you like them? And if you do, how granular do you make your goals? How far down and how particular are you setting your goals? Or, and if you do, the other side of the story, some people say goals are needed. It creates a path of a good motion for us on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis. And then there's the other side. Are they false realities? Are we setting ourselves up for either failure or a false success? A few months ago, 5-6 months ago, have taken the stance, albeit somewhere in the middle. I'm actually on the side of potentially thinking that these extremely granular and month-long goals that we're setting for ourselves are actually giving us a false sense of reality. False. So not that I'm completely against goals, but I'm thinking that the more granular you make a goal, actually the tougher it is to give yourself the true indication of where you are and where you're headed. So I'll explain. I'm going to give 2 quick examples and then possibly one of a real world, in today's world example during this COVID stuff. So non-COVID, here's 2 examples. We have a salesperson that sets a goal for a month, or even their manager set a goal for them for that month of 20 units, 20 sold vehicles that month. And on the 20th of that month, of that calendar month, that salesperson has already attained that number of 20 deals. They have delivered 20 cars on the 20th of the month. Great job. What happens? We have anywhere between 8 and 11 days left. If you're open on Sundays, you have every one of those. If you're not, you have a certain amount of calendar days left in the month, and you're already at 20. You're already at your goal. Usually, what happens on the 20th, let's say at least that the next 10 days you sell 2-3 cars. You're at 23 vehicles for that month. Great job, right? We've hit our goal. We hit it on the 20th. Coast mode. I've hit where I needed to hit on the 20th of the month. I can now relax. Relaxation time. I'm almost on vacation. I might be in the store, I might be in the showroom, but I'm acting as if I got nothing left to do because I hit my goal. My manager told me, my boss told me I needed to be somewhere. I'm there. Now it's cake. Unfortunately, this happens all too often. All too often. Why does this happen? I don't know. I say, because of this, that person has given up on the 20th of the month. They hit their goal, and in their minds, they're done. The month is over with. If I sell nothing for the last 10 days of a month, I'm using that as an example, the last 10 days of the month, I do absolutely nothing, I'm still a success. I hit my goal. I don't like this. Here's example 2. That same salesperson wants to sell 20 cars in a month, as opposed to selling 20 on the 20th of the month. They do absolutely everything they can throughout that month to sell 20 vehicles. Every day they bust their butt. They do everything that they know how to do. They're training, they're prospecting, they're calling, they're following up, they're running to the service drive. They're literally doing anything and everything from any avenue that they can possibly think of to attain a customer, repeat or fresh, and sell them a vehicle. They've given it everything they had. Throughout those 30 calendar days, so to speak, they run into, you make up the number, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, who knows? Let's use 8. 8 customers shaking hands, agreeing on deals and numbers and structures and what have you, and those 8 customers cannot get financing. I'm using this as an example. They cannot get bought on the numbers that they've agreed upon. Or they can't get bought at all. So there's another 8 deals that should be on the road. This salesperson ends up selling 12 cars that month. Those 8 deals would get them at 20. I am not saying that that is a tremendous job, but what I'm saying is, although they end up with 12 cars, if everything was done in beast mode every day, all day long for an entire calendar month, and they just did not fall where they wanted to due to things that are out of their control, is that a bad job? I'm saying no. So here's the flip side with that as well. I'm sorry, to add, not the flip side, but to add to this second example. If this salesperson that sold 12 cars and had 8 customers that could not get financed, maintained a healthy gross profit, making up a number $3,500 a car. So for that $3,500 per car on 12 vehicles, they made just as much as they did in the last 60 days, 90 days, 6 months rolling average, whatever you want to use as a baseline. They made just as much money on those 12 as they have in the prior period while selling 18 to 23 cars a month. So their PVR has been raised and is higher 2 times, 1.5 times, whatever the number is. And on those 12 deals, they made just as much money for both the house and their own pocketbook as they have prior. Bad job? Sorry to say, but no. That's a really granular goal, right? 20 cars, sell 20 cars in a calendar month. It's a big number. That's both an aggressive and a talented salesperson, almost 9 times out of 10. This is why I'm kind of falling off the very granular goal bandwagon. I don't agree. I don't agree that just because salesperson A sold those 20 cars, actually 23, but it was at 20 with 10 days left, that they had a great month. That they're doing what they should be doing. They started out having a phenomenal month and then they fell off because they gave up and they didn't care. Potential. Example B, am I going to look at this salesperson as a failure, as having a tremendously bad month when we really dive into each transaction and all the data that we have at our disposal? Did that salesperson do a poor job? I think not. Here's the last example. Current COVID-19, what we're doing right now, what's going on with every one of us in the automotive world and non. How do we determine if we're doing a good job or not? How do we determine, how do we even set a goal right now? Very hard. If someone has the answer, please reach out to me, email me, direct message me, something. Reach out to me and tell me how. Tell me how we set a goal during these times. And on top of that, tell me how we rate our productivity and how we're doing currently. Because I have absolutely no idea how to do that. I really don't, with the exception of what? Market share. So if we sold 40% of the vehicles, or we wrote 40% of the repair orders that we did last year this month compared to last year of this month, well, obviously, taking things at face value, you'd say, well, shoot, something's going on there. We better figure it out. We're losing steam. We're losing volume. Something's going on. We must be doing something wrong. But clearly, with the circumstances that are here in front of us, maybe that's not so bad. I don't know. So if we're down 40%, but our market share went up 15, 20% year over year in this month, are we doing a bad job? I don't think so. I don't think so. But if we had a granular goal to always increase volume, 10% more than year before, 5% more here, sell an extra 5 cars, sell an extra 20 cars, write up another 100 repair orders throughout a month, whatever that number is, are we taking a look at enough data and are we giving ourselves a reasonable and adequate look at where these goals are coming from and if these goals are actually giving us a true indication of how we're doing? And the examples that I provided, I have to tell you, absolutely not. But I think that what happens way too often is that we set goals because we think we should. We set goals with each one of our employees potentially on a monthly basis because we have been told for so long that that's what we need to do. Tell your salespeople, salesperson by salesperson, this is the amount of cars you need to sell this month. The easiest way, the easiest scapegoat is, well, over your last 90 days, we've sold X divided by 3. That's what your monthly number should be. Or we take that number and we add 2. How much thought is really going into that? I don't know. Not too much. So here's my proposition. Instead of getting so over the top, ridiculously granular with a goal that we're setting ourselves, let's wipe away these goals and let's turn to this. Let's turn to a mindset and a culture that every single day that each one of us, including ourselves, our entire teams, everyone that works for us, with us, everyone that we work for, let's turn the mindset to come into work each and every day that we are scheduled and to go absolutely beast mode from the time that we show up to the time that we leave. Absolutely beast mode. Give it 150% of our capabilities, our effort, our drive, our desire, our want. Every day. And if we use our skills, acquired skills, talents, knowledge, training, experience, if we use all that, we're constantly looking at numbers. I'm not saying throw numbers out the window. That's insanity. But if we're constantly monitoring all of our numbers, everything that we track on a daily basis, continue to do that. But if the mindset is to literally perform at as high a level as we possibly can, every single day, all day long, don't you think that the numbers will fall into place anyway? What will this do? This will give no one an out on the 20th of the month to go into coast mode, to relaxation. This will also not allow someone to feel as if they underperformed, if they did everything that has worked for them for so long, and the things that were out of their control, COVID-19, caused them to not be where they normally are or to not attain a fictitious goal that their boss had given them. Think about that for a moment, please. What's going on right now with this pandemic is absolutely out of any one of our control. There is nothing that any of us can do about it. And we have absolutely no stinking clue when this thing is going to be over. And we really don't have a stinking clue what it's going to look like when it is over. We're all making our educated decisions as how we're going to want and how the customers are going to want to do business after this. And I don't think that that's the wrong thing to do. I'm doing it myself and everybody is, and I think it's the right thing to do. But what I'm saying is we have no absolute guarantee of what it's going to look like because it's out of our control. So yes, every single one of our stores, for the most part, is probably doing much less than what it had prior to, especially depending on where you are geographically in the country. Some places have been hit worse than others, clearly, but it's out of their control. So again, we're not going to allow someone to go into coast mode if they've hit this number that it comes fictitiously out of nowhere on the 20th of the month and think that they're done and think that their bosses are going to be happy for them and that it's yada yada, it's peaches and cream. I don't have to do anything for the next 10 days. We're going to eliminate that. We're also going to eliminate someone thinking that someone or themselves has been underproducing for an entire month when they've done everything that they can. Everything that they can. And the things that are not in their control have won for a 30-month window. I think that's reality. I think that's completely realistic. Now, on the contrary, I will say that some people listening, and I've actually thought about this myself when I think about this whole goal thing, is, okay, so if we throw away goals and our only goal is to just do the best we can every day, well then how are you going to, what are we going to give a participation trophy? Just because someone's working hard? And I think that's a valid question. And my response to that, I had to bring that up because I think it's a total, it's a tremendous question to what I'm saying. And it's a great, contrary belief of what I'm saying. So what I feel about that is that we still, like I said, we're still going to track. We're still going to look at numbers. We're still going to know and see and understand who our high producers are, because a long enough window, enough information to gauge things on, when we get out into months and months and years, they're going to speak volumes. There's no way that the example B, someone that sold 12 that did everything they absolutely possibly could throughout a month, that's not going to happen for a 6-month period in a row. It just won't. So the reality will come out no matter what happens when our sample size is big enough. So we're still going to look at numbers. We're still going to know who's producing better than others. And listen, if someone just can't hang, and just because they're working hard, I'm not saying that's good enough. If we've given them ample opportunity and we've also given them every ounce of our being to make them better and a true professional, if we've done this, well then, okay, we have to make decisions at that point. So I don't think that changes anything. All I'm getting at here is that the idea that we put a number on a piece of paper for a monthly volume or monthly dollar figure should not be the end-all, be-all. I think our goal should be a little bit broad, more broad spectrum, from 30,000 feet, as opposed to the minutia of a number of units sold, because that doesn't speak of everything. I tell our people all the time, I don't care if we sell 1 or 100 cars. If the money's in the bank at the end of the month, I'm good. I mean, if I'm a salesperson, I want to sell 20, and I sell 25 in a month, but I spoke to 400 customers, is that a good job? I mean, listen, I was 25% over my goal. I had to crush it, right? Well, no, because you didn't do well, and you closed at a ratio that my 3-year-old son could close at. These are the playing devil's advocate questions that I always have running through my head when we talk about these goals and when they come up. So I'm going away from them. I'm going away from the real granular goals. And I'm just saying, listen, every day we're going to continue to train. Every day we're going to want to get better, and we're going to have to get better every single day. We're going to give it everything that we have every day to become the best salespeople that we possibly can, the best technicians, the best advisors, finance, office, anybody in the dealership. We're going to be the best we possibly can. We're going to have all the resources to do so. And if we've done a good enough job, the numbers at the end of the month, they're going to be there. And what is there? I have no idea. I don't even know. If the store makes X amount of dollars, well, am I high-fiving? I don't know, maybe. There wasn't another $5 that we could have made? I think there was. Why did we stop? That's why every day, maximum execution, maximum productivity, maximum effort, desire, and focus on what the goal is, which is just that. The goal is to come to work and produce at such a high level we don't even know what we're doing every day. And if we do that, well then we're going to be there. At the end of a week, a month, a year, we're going to be there because, again, a large enough sample size, there's no other way. There's no other way. We will be there. We will be successful. What's success? Well, that's for you to answer in your own mind. But again, if I say my success is to make $100,000, 6 figures. If I make 99, did I not do a good job? If I made 150, did I crush it when the opportunity that was in front of me was to make 200? I'm just playing devil's advocate here. And I hope you guys can understand. And I hope it creates some kind of thought in your mind to say, well, maybe we should understand. Maybe we should kind of dive into a little bit more of what and how we set our goals. Where are they coming from? What does it mean? Is it backed by anything that makes much sense? Don't know. I say if we train our people to the level to which we want each one of them to be able to produce, at such a high level that it's scary, and then we get their mind right and their motivation behind it, our culture, and then our why. We've hit this in the last few episodes. If we have the training there, execution's at a really high level, the motivation is there, why they're going to do this, why they're going to produce at such a high level that they know how to, but every single day. And we have the culture that we're going to do this together, and we're going to help each other, and we are one. We are one unit. For us in our store, dirt bags. If we get all of these things together, then individual monthly volume goals for anybody in the anybody in the dealership are not going to mean anything. If the motivation is there, the motivation is there. The motivation should be to do this every day, all day long. And I'm sure that if every one of our employees produces at their maximum capacity every day that they come into work throughout a calendar month, that when you look at your statements at the end of the month, you will be happy. You will be happy. Whether you sold a certain amount of units or not, you wrote a certain amount of repair orders or not, you will be happy if everyone on your teams, on our teams, produces at maximum potential every day they come to work. We're going to be fine. So that's our goal. We're going to wrap this up here for episode 5 of 2 Steps Ahead. I hope, just like last week, we can get some really nice conversation going with this. And I want to hear your feedback. Thank you. Thank you for spending some time with us. You're extremely busy. I hope that we see the light at the end of the tunnel with COVID-19. I think it's here, and I think we're closer to the end than we have been. That's about as safe a statement as I could possibly say. Thank you, Emily Osborne. Again, like, listen, subscribe anywhere you can see these podcasts, anywhere you can listen to them. Much appreciated for everybody and all the support that we've gotten so far. We hope to continue to get better each and every week. Any kind of feedback, good, bad, or indifferent, please send it over to us. Emily's doing a phenomenal job getting everything going with the editing and sending it out there to all these mediums. So I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope everyone stays safe. And I hope everyone a healthy and safe future here. And before we know it, we're going to be back and rolling. Until next time, good vibes.